Just to give you an idea of how fast these winds are blowing, I am trying really hard not to get blown off this dock. These type of dolphins are conditioned to interact with people, but Alice the dolphin, she's a special case. Because she has a chance to be released back into the wild, trainers want to continue to treat her as a wild dolphin. Firefighters were having trouble containing the fire. They say that it was difficult for some of the trucks to get in there and fight the fire because of this sand. Cars, you can see, can't even drive on the street because all the water is being blown onto the roadway. This is an officer down situation. What the medics need to focus on here is to get the victims out to a safe zone so they can immediately tend to their injuries. This is a devastating scene out here in the small town of Lagardo. As you can see, there is practically nothing left of this area here on Rancher Road. Dozens of homes have burned down. A very sad day for the Corpus Christi community. A 20-year police veteran was hit and killed overnight during a chase. Here's how it happened. Now, 47-year-old Lieutenant Stuart Alexander joined the Corpus Christi Police Department back in 1988. His co-workers describe him as an extremely hard-working officer, but his life's work was cut short because of Daniel Lopez, a man with an extensive criminal history. Changes are underway for the Corpus Christi State School. This after new evidence surfaced of employees abusing patients. Governor Perry's chief of staff was in town visiting the school today. Myra Arthur reports. Well, once again, a local story of crime is making national news. And once again, the district attorney is in the middle of it. But news director Hollis Grizzard wonders why Carlos Valdez suddenly has an interest in the Corpus Christi State School. Here's his commentary. All right, well, after several months of dry weather, our Doppler 10 is finally picking up a few showers and more is on the way. Let's head up to the Weather Center. Thanks, Albert. Well, a little bit of that rain could help South Texas farmers because if they don't get any soon, this year's crop could be a bust. Action 10's Ben Gegenheimer explains. New information tonight on a local man allegedly responsible for a massive burglary spree. Police say 41-year-old Cirilio Perez is now responsible for 24 break-ins downtown. Detectives say the local homeless man hit up everything from a Greyhound bus station to barbershops and restaurants. He was caught in surveillance video breaking into Taqueria Garibaldi on Staples and arrested after police matched his prints to those at other crime scenes. If indicted, he will face 24 counts of burglary. And Border Patrol agents in Laredo seized this stack of marijuana Tuesday. Nearly 600 pounds were hidden inside a false compartment that was built into the front wall of an 18-wheeler. Estimated street value of over $477,000. The drugs, the driver, and truck were all turned over to the DEA.
Sheila Vesperis joins us now with more. Sheila.
Crystal, today Garcia held a press conference to address what he calls are deceptive ads about his campaign. The local Republican Party put out an ad representing their support of incumbent Todd Hunter, alleging embattled businessman Mauricio Celis donated thousands of dollars to elected Garcia and State Representative Abel Herrero. These are still images taken from a commercial ad slamming State Representatives Juan Garcia and Abel Herrero. It first mentions how Mauricio Celis was indicted for impersonating an attorney and goes on to say Celis donated thousands of dollars to a political action committee, claiming that money was then donated to Garcia and Herrero's campaigns. But Garcia says the committee received and spent all the money before Garcia ever ran for or took office.
We never were involved with that $50,000. That was before I was ever a candidate. It's when I was still in the U.S. Navy in 2004.
Garcia did accept $17,000 from Celis. That was before Celis was indicted. When charges were brought against Celis, Garcia donated the $17,000 to a veterans center. Garcia calls the ad deceptive, all on behalf of opponent Todd Hunter's Republican supporters.
Everyone's entitled to their opinion, but not to their own facts.
Abel Herrero then sent this statement about the ad. Quote, "I am disappointed but not surprised. Republicans are now using desperate campaign tactics in an effort to distract voters away." Several Republicans spoke at today's press conference about their own party's strategy to sway voters.
The Nueces County Republicans club is being hijacked for political hit ads.
I'm appalled at the ad.
A spokesman with Todd Hunter's campaign would not comment on the ad, and the chairman for the local Republican Party who put the ad out also refused to comment. This is a dirty game of politics. I mean, this is a perfect example of that.
In its worst form.
Scylla Lopez, Action 10 News.
That's it.
Okay.
That's it.
Well, one more thing.
No.
One more thing.
No more things. That's it.
Corpus Christi Police Captain Tim Wilson refused to answer any more questions about the Christi Estates homicide. We had simply asked him about a possible gang connection to the shooting that killed 31-year-old Jose Vasquez.
This is not gang-related, never was gang-related.
But in a report Action 10 received from the medical examiner's office Tuesday, it states deceased was a possible member of Texas Syndicate. We called the ME's office. The woman who answered the phone said the report was given to us by mistake. Captain Wilson said he hadn't seen the report, but is adamant that it was not gang-related no matter what the ME's office released. Vasquez was at the wrong place at the wrong time.
It doesn't change the fact that he walked in on a robbery, was an innocent party to the robbery, was not a target of the robbery, and was shot.
Drug deal gone bad, maybe?
No, it was a robbery.
However, Chief Smith did say it was a drug deal gone bad.
It could be that he is a gang member. It could be that he was a gang member at some point in time. What we do know is there's a drug connection.
It also says that on the medical examiner report. This is all conflicting with Wilson's comment mentioned earlier. Well, at least there's one common statement in this case. The shooting at Christi Estates was not gang-related. Scylla Lopez, Action 10 News.
Tonight, Action 10 Scylla Lopez joins us with the latest, including an interview with the accused murderer's attorney.
Well, Jen, 22-year-old Micah Spanucius was indicted today by a grand jury, but remains free on bond. His attorney, Mark Werner, told us that he doesn't foresee the judge changing his bond because Spanucius has been staying out of trouble and he's been in full compliance with his release terms. It was May 31st when a friend of Ignatowski found her body in her Candlewood apartment. Police arrested Spanucius just 4 days later, but was released on a $100,000 bond. Police said Friday night, May 30th, Ignatowski and Spanucius were seen talking to each other at Murdoch's bar on Airline. Spanucius followed her home from the bar, but the police investigation found no forced entry and no signs of sexual assault. Meanwhile, we found that Spanucius had no previous criminal history. His attorney said that and Spanucius's full compliance since his release is partly the reason why he remains free on bond.
You know, it's possible that the district attorney's office could request that the bond be increased, but there really wouldn't be any reason to. He's been in full compliance with his conditions of release. He's reported faithfully when he's been ordered to. He hasn't gotten any more trouble.
You know, he's obviously just on edge right now, Mr. Spanucius. Just
very scared, very, upset. I mean, facing something like this, I can't even imagine what it would be like. Yeah, but definitely he's scared and,
Police have not released any kind of motive, and Mr. Warner would not comment on the investigation or whether Spanucius had any kind of relationship with Ignatowski. We do know Spanucius is required to stay in Nueces County, report to his probation officer, and he's to avoid bars and nightclubs. Warner expects the trial to start late fall. In the studio, Scylla Lopez, Action 10 News. The burnt field was still smoldering this morning. There was even a tiny fire still burning. But let's rewind to when it first started. This is an aerial view from our Chopper 10 from last night. You can see miles of orange flames. But firefighters on the ground saw a different view.
The flames are pretty high, about 20 feet. 20 feet or so in the air.
The fire started about 2 o'clock Tuesday afternoon in Duval County. Winds picked up, pushing the fire across Highway 285 and into Brooks and part of Jim Wells County. Fire units from over 20 different fire departments assisted. They came as far as the valley. But even with all that help, it wasn't easy battling a fire that burned over 12,000 acres. Firefighters were having trouble containing the fire. They say that it was difficult for some of the trucks to get in there and fight the fire because of this sand.
I was driving this thing and I was backing up. The mud was like halfway down to the tires right there.
Firefighters reported that the fire was contained around 2 a.m. No word yet on what caused the fire.